Hi, welcome. Simon here, and I hope you're doing well. In this video, I'd like to walk you through step by step on how to do a keyboard replacement on a MacBook Pro. So as you can see, this MacBook Pro, I have the replacement part here. This is the full assembly, meaning that the keyboard, the touchpad, and the battery are all pre-installed as a full assembly. The only thing that you would have to change to transfer over from the original MacBook Pro to the replacement part would be the Touch ID, and then the rest of other stuff like the motherboard, the CPU fan, and the LCD screen. Alright, so if you have a keyboard replacement, you can follow along with the video. If you have a bad battery that you need to change, I would recommend to change the full assembly like what I'm doing right now on this part. But if you just want to change the battery, then this is not the video for you. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. First thing I like to do is to show you the model of the laptop. If you flip it around, you can take a look here. It says A2289. A2289 is the 13-inch MacBook Pro, and we'll be doing the keyboard replacement. Alright, so let's begin. The first thing you like to do is to get yourself a Pentalobe P5 screwdriver. Pentalobe P5 has the 5 points, and you need to remove all the screws here. The 2 screws on the top are a lot longer, and the 2 screws on the bottom is somewhat the medium size, and the 2 screws right in the middle are the shortest. Okay, let's put the screws here on the side. The next step is to get a metal prying tool. We are trying to pry open the back cover here. I just want to get in between that back plate. It's kind of hard, so you need to find a little opening space. Okay. Alright, so what I'm trying to do here is, once you get the opening space and get in between the back cover, you want to pop open that clipper right here. There's a clipper right on the side. Pop it up. You can hear that crack noise, which is normal, and I'll show you where the clipper in just a second. So there are 3 clippers in total, right, middle, and left. So let's go ahead and pop them up. And now at this point here, while you're holding the back plate, you want to slide the back plate down towards your body. At the same time, you want to push that laptop away from you. And I'll tell you what is happening here. So there are clippers on every side of it. The left, the middle, and the side. That is why I asked you to pop it like a crack noise. And then if you can see that little slider here, is slide in between to that computer right there. So while you're holding at 45-degree angle, you want to push and pull the same time to get the back plate removed. Alright, once that is removed, let's go ahead and get started and removing everything, including the CPU fan, the speaker, the motherboard, LCD screen, everything over to that replacement keyboard that I showed you in the beginning of the video. Alright, the first thing I like to do is to disconnect the battery. I'll be using a T4 screwdriver, plastic prying tool, there's a clipper right here. Pop open the plastic clipper and slide your flex cable to your left. Okay, slide it out. So there's a slight clipper right here, the connector clipper. You need to pop it up. not to remove, okay, just to open it up. remove that one screw. I'm using a T4 torque 4 screwdriver. Remove that one screw. Okay, let's start removing the rest of other screws here using a T4. Remove the bracket and disconnect by simply lift it straight up. They're kind of like a Lego set, so press it to install, pull it to separate them. This is the keyboard. You need to peel that plastic, then flip open that clipper and slide that keyboard flex cable down. Peel that plastic, open that clipper, slide that cable down. I think I broke the cable, not broke the cable, the little plastic here. You can always glue it back after. Alright, so let's go ahead and start removing the LCD screen. So using a T4 screwdriver, I'll be removing some of the screw here. I highly recommend what you need to do is to prepare yourself in advance. Maybe draw out a diagram on how the laptop looks like, or take a picture of it and print out the picture. Do a little diagram for yourself, and while you're removing all the screws, I want you to be able to locate the screws and put them back later on. So just not to mix match the screw. I can tell you that most of the time this is a very tedious job. A lot of time you probably would missing screws and whatnot. So prepare yourself, get a little cheat sheets so you can remember what to do after. And this cable here, you just gotta pop it up again like a Lego. I'm still using the T4. And I'm still working on the LCD screen here. And this is, I'm using a 0.8. This is a P2 screwdriver, and that is for the Wi-Fi antenna. The Wi-Fi antenna screws are all the same, so if you mix match them, it is okay. And if you're missing one or two, it is okay. I don't think you need all that screw to hold down the Wi-Fi antenna. So it doesn't mean that you should miss the screw or get lazy not to install them, but by accidentally, if you have misplaced them or dropped the screw, on the Wi-Fi antenna, then it is fine. Alright, the next step, let me use the T3. This is the torque 3. That would be the 2 little screw here that is holding onto the plastic bracket. This plastic bracket is holding down the hinge. Okay. So remove the 2 screws and the bracket. Then that LCD hinge is exposed. Now the next step is to go ahead and pry open the Wi-Fi cable. But before you can do that, you need to remove this plastic here using a T4. That is the Wi-Fi cable, and we're just going to pop it straight up. The connector is just a circle on top of each other. It just go on top and you just pop it straight up. Then you can remove the Wi-Fi antenna. And you just have to slide it out. If you take a closer look here on this side, you just have to slide it all the way out. Okay, let's just leave them on the side. Now get yourself a T8, which is the torque 8 screwdriver for your hinge. And there are 3 of them, so let's go ahead and remove them on one side and the other 3 on the other side. Once you have done that process, go ahead and open up your screen. Open it up more than 90-degree angle, and you can slide that hinge out. Okay. And the entire screen will just pop right out. So save the screen on the side, because we do need that screen to be put back afterwards. Now let's continue with the repair. Let's see what else we need to transfer over. It looks like quite a bit of stuff here. They need to go in there. So let's keep going with it. Okay, so let's use the T4. Start removing some of the screw. The bracket and the cable. This is your CPU fan. CPU fan cable. Pop it open and slide that cable to your left. Okay, using a T4 again. Let's remove some of the screw here on your motherboard. Let's remove the speaker. 2 screws on this speaker here. And it would just pop straight up. Three screws on the other side of the speaker. Okay, so that is being set. There's another hidden screw right here on the top right corner. It's a very tiny one. This is the Touch ID. We are going to transfer it over. But at first, I think we do need to pop open that little Touch ID here. It does look like an iPhone 6 or iPhone 7 or iPhone 8, where you have the home button with the Touch ID. So be very gentle. It is double-sided tape onto that flex cable there. So just pushing my way out. I wonder how to remove that. Just a second. Does it come out from the front? It doesn't seem like it's coming out from the front. Or does it? Let me see if I can pry it open. Let me do a little bit research on that part right there. I'm still trying to learn on this here. I'm just gonna focus on removing the motherboard steel. So let's remove some of the screw here for the CPU fan. Let's see. I'm trying not to mix match the screw because there's so many screws. I'm losing my mind. I'm keeping track on all the screws now. I know that the motherboard is free to go, but this thing is holding it down. How do we remove that? Am I missing a screw, like a set of screws to remove that? It does look like it. Hold on. So this one here, it looks like a little wrench that is holding down the heat sink. I do not have the tool, so I'll be using a plier and just gently clamping onto that nut and turn it around. it is moving, it is turning, but I can only turn so much at a time, so this might take a while, but it is moving. Alright, there you go. So I do think you might need to have a separate screw for this. It looks like a little pentagon or whatever hexagon, where you need to have that screwdriver set. I don't have it, so I just kind of twist and turn using a plier. Alright, so that helps. It lifts up my motherboard. Is my motherboard free to remove? Let's see. It looks like it is, but how much so? It is still feels like, oh, right there, that is that cable. There's another cable right there. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there's one right here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cable, 12 cable off the motherboard to remove. Okay, I missed one of them right there. Luckily I was very gentle, just wiggling around, and I felt like there was something here, which is the USB-C, and there's something right there, so I did not break or crack anything, so that is a good sign. Alright, so that is the motherboard we just removed here. CPU fan, let's go ahead and remove the fan. Okay, let's take a look here. Alright, that's how we get to the home button. I think we should, it looks like I need to remove some of the screw, so let's go ahead and get started using a T4. So there are 6 screws. Okay. The thing just came off on the other side. It looks like you just need to remove 4 screws, not 6. The other 2 screws is holding down the bracket, the one in the middle. Okay, just remove the 4 screws, and the home button, well, the finger ID would pop up on the other side. Alright, so I think this is it. This is my old keyboard. Pretty much we need to have the replacement battery. Oh, there was some other stuff in there, but okay, that's pretty much it. Just so you know, let's put this on the side. Before I forget, I need to bring the replacement one here. I need to be able to open that. Okay, and I need to be able to put this bracket here. The 2 screws in the middle. Let's put the bracket in first. slide the Touch ID button from the front. Wait, I don't think you can slide it in. Okay, I guess you have to do that way. Slide it in first, bracket second. And 4 screws here for the button. Man, this is too much. But be patient. I know you're gonna get it. It just takes time. Okay, so that is that. So let's get the headphone jack installed back together, which is the 2 screw here. Okay, before I continue, I gotta make sure I have that little special thing here. Okay, so that is set and done. The home button, let's go ahead and push it in. Okay, there's a lot of other stuff you gotta put it back together. So I guess we are halfway the journey, because we have removed and start transferring to the new keyboard. So right now it just half the way is done. Okay, CPU fan has to go back in. Okay, now the motherboard part section, you just want to make sure all the cables are sitting on top of the motherboard. So flex them to the back of it, right? Push it all the way to the back so that you can have enough room. Oh, they never give me this one, so I need to transfer the USB-C. The USB-C needs to be transferred over. That is fine with me. Yep, this is taking a long time, but it's okay. We are almost there. So make sure you have all the cables in. Let's start from the top right corner. So there's one for the USB-C, some of the button right here for the touch bar. Make sure you have them installed, right? This little cable right here. So make sure that the connector is open. Now you can flip that thing back in. Once you push it all the way in, make sure you have the connector lock it back. Same for this cable here. Okay, before I forgot, let me start putting the screw back together. So there is one screw here for the motherboard. Let's put it in. Okay. Alright, so my motherboard is all in. Connect the CPU fan. Let's go ahead and slide it in. Okay, speaker. We need to get the speaker installed. Okay, so for the speaker, you might want to come back and recheck again, like what I'm doing right now, because the new the new keyboard replacement, they removed that little rubber thing, the vibration that helps to reduce that speaker vibration thing, that noise. So make sure that you have that insert here, And before you install that speaker, if you do not have that, what happen is you are going to have problem later on by hearing the static noise coming off the speaker. Okay, so that's what the rubber is for, to to prevent getting the static or the buzzing noise. So make sure you have that speaker rubber here before you install. Double check your work, and the thing has to go in between. Okay, so the rubber thing has to go in between the cover. Oh, it's not that easy to put it back, so take your time. You just have to stuff it in. Okay. Keyboard is next. Speaker is next, and that rubber thing is not transfer. Need to make sure we transfer them. 2 screws going back to that speaker. And slide that cable back in. Okay. Alright, so we're pretty much almost there. This one. Great. So now the next step is to get the LCD screen installed. Make sure all the cable slide on top that laptop and have the hinge installed by sliding back in. So make sure you have all the cable right above the laptop, okay, sitting on above the laptop, and then slide that hinge down on both sides. While you're having the screen on the top, get yourself that 2 screw. You need to lock it in first so that you can close the screen. So get yourself a T8 screwdriver, that one little screw. And the second one on the other side. Okay, now you can close the screen so that we can continue working on the rest of it. So we're pretty much almost done. Doing the screen part is a lot easier. I would come back here and finish all the screws for the hinge. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, once you have done with that process, now we want to stick the Wi-Fi antenna back in. So remember the 2 cable was somewhat slide in between the tiny little hole, so you have to slide it back in and make sure that the metal piece is sitting on top of it, and that should do it. Okay, now get the Wi-Fi screw, So the long one goes on the top and the short one goes at the bottom. And there are 4 screws holding down the LCD board. This is the LCD board, the one that I'm holding down. So put the 4 screws back in. There's another 2 screws here, but make sure you have the bracket that goes on top that cable. Once you have that on top of it, holding it down, the 2 more tiny screws go on top of it. Okay, so that is all done. The bracket here going back on top of it. Well, if you're with me for so long and you're still following along the video, I would say congrats. It's almost 1 hour now. The video is definitely a long video here, and again, it is not easy to do a keyboard replacement on a MacBook Pro. So if you spill stuff on it, on a keyboard, then yeah, it is major repair. So, but you know, if you're patient, take your time, one step at a time. You don't have to rush. Don't get frustrated with it. If you're tired, walk away, come back, get yourself a coffee or soda or water, right? Drink some water, lots of water. I don't know. You know, eat your lunch, eat your breakfast, eat your dinner, and come back and do it again. You know, continue the process. The whole point is there's no sense to rush the repair. I know that you're anxious to make sure that the computer is working, right? You're following along the video. There might be a pressure for you that you have to play and pause. But the story is, you know, even for me, it is not easy. Even for me, it takes me like over an hour to do it. So something that I do all the time, and it is taking a long time for me. So in other words, do not discourage yourself by feeling that it is too much or too difficult. If you put your heart into it, you know, discipline and put the emotion on the side, I'm sure you can do this. All right, we are pretty much almost done. There are a few more screws here left, which is the hinge. Yeah, if you have any questions regarding the repair, just comment below. I'll try to help you through the comments. And if you're not sure where to buy the tools and the replacement part, please check the link below. I'll link them to either Amazon or eBay, where you can find the replacement keyboard, the tools for this repair. Okay, now the next step is to connect the battery back together. So since you have been watching the video for almost over an hour now, but I want to tell you, when you power up your laptop, you need to have the charger ready. Okay, a lot of time that you guys think that connecting the battery, it was fully charged, the thing would power up. The answer is no. At one point it freaked me out because I thought like, hey, did I break anything? Why the thing is not powering on? So I realized, I do not know what it is, but Apple make it in a way that you need to have the adapter to plug in order to power up the laptop. So do not get freaked out if the thing doesn't power up because you need the battery. Okay, now at this point here is the same process. We need to kind of slide it in. So I need to pay a close attention to it and slide my keyboard back in. But anyway, did I buy a different color? I think I did, but oh well. I'm gonna do it later on, but I need to slide it in. Looks like something is happening here. Can I not? Okay, that is something. Anyway, just finish up the rest of other screws. This is very simple, straightforward. 2 screws here on the top. That's pretty much it. Yeah, so if you have any question, please comment below. I do read your comments and I do answer them. Let me know if you were able to change out the keyboard yourself, and if you do, please comment below, because definitely, you know, this is a long process. It's not a simple task, it's not easy, but if you can do it, please comment below. I really like to hear from you. Okay, thanks for watching. Good luck with the repair, and bye now.